everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Diola. This is the first time I'm doing a video on this channel. So this is a new channel. I'm gonna be putting out content relating to everyday life, traveling, going out, trying out different things. And so yeah, welcome aboard. And if you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. And also make sure that you share with your friends and family. So on today's video, I thought I might do 10 things you need to know about traveling to Tunisia if you haven't been before and you're planning to go. So I went to Tunisia recently, and on my video I've had a few comments and I've had a few questions about the things that would be nice to know before going to Tunisia. So I thought, okay, I've got a list of 10 things that I think it will be very beneficial for you to know ahead of time before going to Tunisia. So yeah, without waffling on too much, I'm just gonna get right into it. So the first thing that I want to mention is the fact that Tunisian currency, you cannot get it outside of their country, so you need to get their currency in their country. So depending on wherever it is that you're traveling from, you need to be prepared to only change the money in the country. So take with you your own home currency in cash. I think it's best to have cash rather than having to do a card ATM withdrawal, because the ATMs over there tend to charge you for using the ATM even though you are taking out their local currency, because their ATMs do not give you foreign currency. It will only give you their currency. So it will be best for you to just have cash handy, have more than enough, because it's better to have more than enough than not have sufficient amount of cash with you. So if you have cash, you can pretty much change anywhere, ranging from the airport to currency exchange to even the hotels. They will change your money for you. And the good thing about the fact that you can only change in their country is the fact that wherever you go, the exchange rate will always be the same thing. So it's not like they're trying to rip you off, or if you change at the airport it's going to be more expensive, or if you change at the hotel it's going to be more expensive and things like that. But it's a flat rate regardless of where you are in the country, which is a good thing. Number two thing that I would say is, when you are doing your currency exchange, wherever you're doing it, whether it's at the hotel or the bank or the airport, make sure you always have your receipt. Keep your receipt, because you can't take the currency out of the country either. So everything needs to stay within the country. So then if you then happen to have changed more than you needed, you need your receipt to be able to change it back to your currency. So if you don't have that, you just probably end up losing money, because you won't be able to take it out of the country anyway. The money will become useless to you. So make sure you keep your receipt for whatever exchange that you're doing, and then be able to exchange back in case you need it. And that's tip number 2. Number 3, so when you get to passport control, they will ask you for your hotel details. So this is one of the things that you need to make sure that you have ready, because they will ask you where you're staying and the name of the hotel, just to verify that, okay, you are legit and you have legit accommodation waiting for you. They might ask you to provide a proof of booking, but they just ask you for the name of the hotel. They probably check it, I don't know, but they will ask. So it's always good to have that information at hand. And so that's tip number 3. So number 4, so this is around the activities. So when I was planning my activities, I realized that there were no activities on Airbnb for Tunisia. So for my activities, I ended up so I didn't book any activity until I got to Tunisia, to be honest. So I ended up using so depending on who you're traveling with or where you're traveling from, your travel company might be providing some activities, because I went with a travel provider called TUI. So if you're traveling with a travel provider that can provide activities as well, that's great. So TUI, for example, they have an app as well. So, and they also provide activities for places that they do tend to shuttle to and travel to as well. So Tunisia, they had activities, and they also had their agents on site on the hotels, in the hotels for their guests, so that if if you do then want to book any activities via the travel provider, then that's also available. So I booked one of my activities with TUI, and then the rest of the activities, a lot of the hotels in Tunisia, they will have their representatives or some locals that will come into the hotel to sell the activities as well. So you won't be left without any activities. There will also be some people selling their activities within the hotel that you're staying at. So, and also I used GetYourGuide. So GetYourGuide, they do have activities as well. So if you're not having any luck with maybe the TUI app, try GetYourGuide. And the hotels will also have some people around that will be selling the activities. And then on one of the activities that I went on with TUI, I then had the opportunity to meet another tour guide that was also providing like a tailored sort of activity. So if you do have something in mind that maybe some of these apps are not even offering, or maybe some of the locals are not offering, you are able to like speak with this person to just say, okay, this is what you would like to do, and then just get that done. So I managed. So with this person, I did book a private tour with this person because I wanted to go to the capital. So from where I was in Sousse, and to go to the capital from Sousse was about an hour and a half drive. So I booked a private tour with this person. So it was a whole day tour, and which was around, I think it was around £80 per person. So it cost me £80 for the whole day tour with this person. And so yeah, you will get opportunities to meet different people, and then offering different services. So you wouldn't be left alone without having anything to do. So talking about the best time to visit Tunisia, I would say the best time weather-wise, if you're really looking for it to be really hot, it will be around May and October. So when it starts getting to like November, December, the temperature tends to drop. But even at that, it doesn't drop that bad because I went in December. So the second week in December I went, and the temperature still reached around 26 degrees on one of the days. But then the way it flipped between hot and cold was really shocking, because one day it was like 26 degrees, and then the next day I was going to the capital, it was 16-14 degrees. It was really cold and unexpected. So if you're going to be going around December, later in the year and early in the year, you have to make sure that you're packed for both weather sort of scenario. So make sure you're packed for it to be warm, and also packed for it to be really cold. So that was my experience. It was cold. I wasn't prepared for it, and I was dressed in summer outfits, and it was 14 degrees cold, so I was freezing cold. So number 6 is getting around. So how do you get around, right? I would say it's a lot easier to get around using taxis, and also you can use the boat app. They do have the boat app, so you can, if you're not a fan of haggling prices, it will be better for you to just use the app, because I will just give you the price anyway, so you don't need to haggle that. But if you want to take taxis, you have to be mindful of the fact that when they see you as a foreigner, they tend to add a few more, to the price. So you need to be mindful of that. Make sure you probably ask some of the locals first, like for a rough price for where you're going. Some of the tour operators will sort of like give you a rough idea of how much it will cost you to get to certain places from wherever you are. So number 7, I would recommend for you to get a guide if you're going out and about. For example, if you're going to the Medina, to the shopping place, because the Medinas, they do quite look similar, so you can, and they do look like a maze, so you can get lost in a place where everything just looks pretty much the same thing. So if you want to go to the Medina to go and shop local produce or local garments and things like that, for example, I would recommend for you to just get a guide, maybe for your first day there or something, to get used to what is in the area, what the Medina looks like, or where you can go or where not to go. So for me, I tend to do like a welcome tour wherever I go to a new place that I travel to, I tend to do like a welcome tour so that I can get as much information from the local as possible for places that are safe to go to, places that are not safe to go to, and just local tips and information that might be really, really useful to you knowing how to navigate your way around the new area. So I tend to always do that first. So I would recommend getting a guide, even if it's just that for that one day, to just settle yourself within the new environment, and then you can take it on from there. So that's number 7. And number 8, the one thing I did notice when I went to Tunisia was that everybody was trying to sell me something. Like, they knew I was a foreigner. I don't know why. Actually, no, I think I do know why. So if you go out, as soon as you're stepping out of the hotel, in fact, even in the hotel, you have the locals, some of the locals, they're trying to sell whatever they are selling, like a photo shoot or a tour somewhere. So there's always people trying to sell you something. And even when you step out of the hotel, people are always trying to sell you something. It's really hard when you're just trying to go about your day, but then you have people just trying to distract you here and there, trying to get your attention, trying to sell you this or that, or this souvenir, that souvenir. So it can get overwhelming if you're not sure how to handle that. So just be prepared that, I think the best thing for me that I did was I just tried to not engage. So I just tried to not engage, because the moment that you try and engage with them, then they want to just take over your whole time, and which you don't even have. Another thing is what I noticed is that people are trying. You have to be careful about people approaching you that wants to sell you something. For example, if you have a hotel tag on your wrist, because some of these hotels, a lot of these hotels, you will have a tag on your wrist. So by that alone, when you're out and about, people know that you belong to whatever hotel. They can see the tag. They know that maybe you're coming from this XYZ hotel, and they can use that as a way to say, oh, I know you. I met you at the Palace Hotel or whatever hotel it might be. And then you probably think, actually, maybe they are right, but no, they're not right. So you have to be mindful of the fact that you're already carrying that tag with you, and they've seen that, and they want to use that to introduce themselves to you and say, we've met before, whereas you haven't. So don't fall prey of that, and just be vigilant. And in anyone that is approaching you to say, okay, they know you, be very vigilant. Don't follow anyone to go anywhere. Be safe. If anyone is offering to take you to a place for cheap, I wouldn't trust that. I would say go with your gut. Don't trust it. Just be safe, and to not follow anyone to go anywhere that you don't trust. So, and I think number 10 is when you are out and about, and if you want to do some shopping, if you're not going to the mall that they have stipulated prices that you don't need to haggle, just take it off the shelf and buy it and leave. But if you're going to the Medinas, you're going to the local shops, you need to be ready to haggle. Like, you need to haggle hard, because if they tell you something is 170 dinar, you need to cut it in half. That's my starting point, because a lot of these places, as soon as you see that you're a tourist, you're a foreigner, they want to get as much out of you as possible, and which is a little bit unfair, but it happens. That's just what it is. Things just happen, and I don't blame them. They're just trying to make a living, but just let's make a fair living. That's what I'm saying. Make a fair living. So those are 10 tips that I will give you that I think you need to know ahead of time before you go to Tunisia. So if you're planning to go, stay safe out there, enjoy your time, enjoy the food. They have some amazing food out there as well. So amazing food. Just enjoy yourself and be safe. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this tip has been really useful. And if you have any further questions that I've not touched on in this video, leave a comment in the comments, and I'll make sure to answer your comments in the comment section. If you want to know my itinerary, I don't know how to say that. What is the itinerary? If you want to know my itinerary for when I was in Tunisia, comment in the comment section. I'll probably make sure I will try and do another video to cover all of that. So thank you so much for watching, and please give me a thumbs up if you like this content, and also make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much, and I shall see you on my next video. Adios.